This is where it starts right now.
The fifth pick will be made by Detroit Pistons.
Wow, Detroit fell all the way out.
You can't even make it up.
That means there are 4 remaining. Houston, San Antonio, the Charlotte Hornets.
I'm sad.
Portland Trailblazers, but who will walk away with the number 1 pick coming up?
It's just not funny.
It's
not funny.
Of those top 4 picks in the 2023 NBA draft. That's what we cover.
Oh man. Oh wow. That's
It sucks a lot.
oh man. Kevin Ollie, you are I don't know. I don't even know what to say. I just want to cry.
It sucks a lot. A lot.
5th?
We sucked for no reason.
Yeah, last year was for nothing.
My father's conspiracy theory is out. Why don't they show the balls getting picked? Why are they
do it
hitting?
in a back room? I don't know. They do it in a back room. But they have like media people there. Damn, dude, that's crazy. 5th.
Statistically, the most likely outcome.
The NBA is so broken. To me. I don't understand how you can win 17 games and you don't even get a top 3 pick.
Not even a top 4 pick, Grant.
Not even a top 4. Just turned into a dark night. All right. Well, let's just clap on 3 just so I can see. Actually, no, we do not have to because
cheers.
3 personal recordings. Cheers to episode
Cheers.
121.
Wow.
To the Wemby sweepstakes. I wonder what's going to happen.
Water with Mio in it.
Lifelong Spurs fan.
Water.
Water.
What'd you-
Aquafina.
Hmm.
No free ads though.
Tap.
Aquafina. Okay.
Tap
Well,
water.
let me just clarify. We have a special guest on. A special guest, capital S. His name's Cody. He's Cody with a C. He's been on the show before for a snake draft. Been on live draft streams.
Yes.
Bowled a 300 with the flu.
Yes. Also beat Alex and Dad
And had
day.
a podcast.
People forget that. Yeah.
No, they don't.
Had
Because
a
you tell everyone.
Gambling.
had a podcast. It's dead because
Gambling
simply
expert.
Shot of Michigan Sports simply swallowed the state. Number 1 sports podcast in the state of Michigan, as you know. So there wasn't a lot of listeners left for me. So
We're also working on a branch off deal to ESPN. We're
We
taking it
are
global.
growing fast.
Yes. Happy to have you, Cody. He fits in like a glove. Evan, for those wondering what's going on with Evan got caught up with baseball activities.
what's new?
As you can imagine, when dealing with high schools, usually Evan comes on here hot and bothered with the story from practice. This time, it bled a little too long. So we called Cody last minute, see if he wanted to join. So credit to him. And now he's joining us on the number 1 sports show in the state of Michigan.
And the worst day
Allegedly.
of the week.
Today is Tuesday, the worst day of the week, May 16th, 2023. It's 8:41 p.m. And see, I originally had written down it's lottery night, but now it's
a lottery happened?
And
Sorry, I was
doomed.
watching the Tigers pummel the Pirates 4-0 right now.
yeah, Luke.
Is
Talking
that
to
happening?
You, Luke.
It is.
Yeah, Torque is 2 doubles, and I think Riley Green's 3 for 3.
We are
We needed
almost
that tonight.
over with the boycott.
think-
We're so
I
close.
think Lorenzen's on a 2-hitter right now. So, Alex, I expect
It's up to 5.
when we get to 500, I need to see you in Comerica. Sorry, just has to
Just the
happen.
first game.
You have
just
to end the
immediately.
boycott, yeah, in the stadium.
I mean, I was just going to turn it on the TV, but
Alex's
I guess I
first
could just
game
go
back,
to a
we're
game
gonna
by
lose.
myself.
We're gonna
Well,
lose
let me look.
15
I'm looking
to
at the schedule.
nothing. Alex is, you know it. First game back, we're losing 15-0. That's
Yeah.
a fact.
Thursday, May
Alex is
25th. I will be in
Fire off a
Comerica.
text. This team is
And
terrible.
then the boycott will be back on.
Rodriguez is just going to get shellacked in the first inning, give him like 8 runs.
Yeah. Like everything's going to go wrong in one night.
Oh, yeah.
If they even
just
get
like
there.
tonight, everything went incredibly wrong. By now, probably you've seen Alex and I's reaction. We did record that. It's pretty. I was telling Alex, Cody, before you joined that I'm trying to remember back to what I did. I think I just started laughing maniacally like the Joker, like it's an origin story. Like it was just and I think Alex pointed out I was saying verbally it's not funny as I was laughing to myself because I knew it wasn't funny, but I just was laughing to hide the pain. It was really bad.
Yeah.
It was dark.
It was really
I mean,
bad.
I was laying in bed. I everything was chalk, and I was like, "Oh my god, we're actually gonna get Wembanyama." And then he goes Pistons. So I was like, I audibly screamed no at the TV. The dog looked at me like I murdered somebody in bed, and I don't know. I couldn't be more disappointed, but I think we should be used to this.
You know what kind of sucks too is I really thought we were on the hinge of going to commercial break, but we weren't.
Yeah.
Like, I
No,
thought
you
top
could
five
tell
was
that
like,
fourth was the commercial.
I think I'd be less shocked if we just been in the top 4. And even if we were 4, I would have been less mad than I am now. I'm just like, I don't know what to think. How did we fall all the way to 5?
We were either going to be 5th or 1st.
Yeah.
I've convinced myself we were either 5 or 1.
Statistically most likely to be 5th.
Every lottery sim.
I
had
know,
5.
Alex, but it's like
Said it all morning, just in case.
it's still a coin flip. It is, but then once you get through that, then your odds go way up to get
Grant,
1.
we ran the tankathon right before, and I clicked it like 35 times, and I got 5th like 28 of the 35 times. We knew it.
Well,
We didn't want to believe it.
we didn't win the
But we knew
Wembanyama
We didn't know.
sweepstakes.
Don't play.
But we won the Thompson twin sweepstakes. All-Star Thompson, you are a Detroit Piston, and you will be
Kevin
a
Ollie.
Guangdong Tiger in 2027. It's that simple.
We're bringing Kevin Ollie with him. Oh, man.
That's rough. That's rough.
I mean, we just went from Monty Williams and Wembanyama to Kevin Ollie and Oster Thompson.
Listen, we don't want Monty
Hey.
Williams.
I will second that. I guess I didn't realize what the Suns' record was before they brought in Chris Paul. Russillo said it today. I believe they
I
were
was going to say,
34.
Ryan Russillo put you in the right
They
direction.
were 34 and 39 before Chris Paul joined that team. And no matter what you think about Chris Paul, he did more for that team than Monty Williams ever did. Stay woke. That's all I'm saying. Just bring in Kevin Ollie. It's inevitable.
Osar Thompson. What we're going to talk about in today's show, we got the recaps. We have some listener questions that are good. We're going to have to save 2 of them. They're Evan specific. He's not here to answer them. So we're going to save those.
That is funny.
We have some Lions talk because the schedule got released. We also have, glad for Cody, we got a little LeBron James talk at the beginning because that's really consuming my life right now. Lions talk, the lottery, and then Cody, this is going to be on the fly. We have our PGA Championship picks, favorite and long shot.
Man.
So
I'll pull them up.
hopefully you can craft something from the dome at the end of the show.
I'll find a way.
And we're also, you're on the win-loss predictions. Wow, that's a huge, you're going to be on the graphic. We'll have to get Evans written down as well.
Come on.
But we have our annual May predictions graphic. Let's start with, it's hard not to start the lottery. We're gonna table it, guys. We're gonna compartmentalize. We're gonna talk about it later. What we're gonna start with is weekly recaps. So Alex, always starts with you. What have you done since May 9th? Wednesday, May 9th.
I played golf with my dad, neighbor, and Cody on Saturday. Stonebridge, nice course.
Nice.
Played like shit.
Okay.
My luck was pretty bad. My one story from this will be
Like the Pistons.
Yeah, very similar. Just nothing was really going my way. Is what it is. I looked at Cody.
Right.
And I was like, man, I just got no luck today. And he's like, yeah, it'll turn around for you. I hit a bad shot, goes in the fairway. I said to Cody in the car, I'm like, my luck is turning around. You're right. Next shot, hit it right on the screws, dead in the middle of the club. Looking up, it's going straight. And then my hands feel weird. I'm like, what happened? Look up, and my club head is flying 40 yards forward on the same ball flight. There's water in this hole. It's a carry hole to the pin. So when your club head falls off, the ball inevitably goes shorter. Even though I hit it perfect, it comes up short and ploofs into the hazard. Poof. And then Cody just looks at me. I look at him and he's like, I'm sorry, dude. You're not a lucky person. You never will be. And he laughed for 2 holes about it. So then I was like, you know what? This is it's time to drink some high noons for the rest of this 18.
Nice.
And I had a good time.
Yeah.
And then Sunday was Mother's Day. Actually, Saturday night I went to a bonfire.
Yeah, Project X is what it sounded like.
I left at like 12:30 because I'm old. But apparently someone was running a mile, and I don't know what happened. I don't know.
My comment was only on the amount of people that were listed to go when you guys were playing it. I was like, that's a lot of people.
I mean, I didn't invite anyone. I was just
big fire.
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of people there, I guess. But it was, basically, I feel like at bonfires, you just recycle conversations you've had 10,000 times, just sometimes with different people. So everyone's heard the conversation, but they might have just talked about it with somebody else.
I think
that's how I felt the whole time.
I think that's just called growing up. You just tell the exact same stories from when you were 18 to 22 for the rest of your life.
Talk about stuff we did in high school. Yep. Talk about the future of our high school football program. Tell stories about stuff that everyone's heard the story. Movie quotes. Yeah. Just classic stuff. And I looked at Cheese and I was like, I feel like I've had this conversation 30 times. He's like, yeah, me too, but never with you. So this is a new one. And so, yeah, did that Saturday night. And then Sunday was Mother's Day. And so I was in the town of T. And my grandparents came over as well. And we had steak on the grill. Pretty good.
What kind of cut?
What's the round, smaller one? I don't remember.
Filet mignon.
Yeah, it was a filet.
Wow.
Mignon.
Filet mignon. French. Is that French?
Stop.
Because we didn't get him.
Stop.
And then yesterday was golf league.
How'd you shoot?
And we won. My dad was not there, so I had a sub, Ben, podcast listener. We didn't play that great, but we won 21.5 to 8.5, so it was a good victory.
Kind of just crapped on whoever you played if you didn't play that great and took that many points.
Well, they shot 50 and 59.
Okay, well.
So it wasn't
tough.
Yeah. It's like if me and Grant were paired up out there.
There were, yeah, very similar, honestly. There were a lot of big numbers out there yesterday, so.
That's it?
And now I'm here, yeah.
Nice.
To Cody.
Yeah. Gosh.
What have you done since the last time you were on the episode? What have you done the last 2 years?
Bought a house, got engaged, living life. Saturday, didn't do anything Friday. It was a long day, long work week. So just kind of kicked it at home. Watched some hockey, NBA. Saturday, went to Muck's Pub for dinner. There was an art fair in T-Town, so every restaurant in the world was packed. But Old Reliable will always be there with a bar seat waiting for you, and that's Muck's Pub. Saturday, took a trip up to the Somerset Collection in Troy. Had to get Paige a dress for our engagement pictures. So
nice.
Had to do that. Nice fun drive. Went to Sweet Green. That's a hot new salad place. Grant, I feel like you'd love Sweet Green. Went there twice this weekend, actually. Pretty bussin'.
I feel like they had them in New York.
Yeah, they did. Big fitness guy now.
So, yep.
And then, Sunday was Mother's Day. We went to Ann Arbor for Paige's mom. We went to the Pretzel Bell. Good spot downtown. And then I made dinner for my mother here at my home. I made steaks, like you, Alex.
What cut?
Ribeye. I'm not I'm not rich like Alex, so we couldn't afford the
It's okay.
mignons.
We'll get there.
Nothing wrong.
The podcast brings in a lot of money.
Mushrooms, roasted broccoli, and then I made mini fruit tarts for dessert. So was chefing it up this weekend. And now I'm here.
You're an adult.
Yep. Who would have thought?
Oh yeah, I saw a picture of the fruit tarts. That's what that is. I was thinking of candy. That's not what you meant.
Yeah. Sorry. Fruit tartlets.
Like some good old chewy sweet tarts. That's where my brain.
Kind
went.
of like
I was thinking not that.
the fruit pizza that Hunter makes for the fantasy draft, similar to that, but mini version.
Shout out Hunter, because I know he's listening to this doomsday right now about the Pistons.
He is.
Did you crazy question for you there, Cody? Do you have any chickpeas on your sweet green salad?
I did not. What?
I've just become a huge chickpeas guy, and I just
Grant,
want to share that love with other people.
Bought chickpeas in this apartment, and you looked at me and you're like, "Why would you eat those?"
Embrace debate.
I was
naive.
Why
do chickpeas and garbanzo beans exist when they're the same thing and they're right next to each other at the grocery store?
Great
That's what I was about to say. I've been told they are the same thing.
Yeah.
I don't know the difference if there is one.
I like a good chickpea.
Because
I have both though. In my
a
cabinet
real
right
text
now.
exchange I had with Marissa once. I was like, "Where do I find chickpeas in the grocery store? I cannot find them." She goes, "Did you go to the bean aisle?" I was like, I did. But she's like, "Garbanzo beans." I go, "Well, why are they called chickpeas?" She goes, "That's like their nickname." I was like, "Well, that makes no sense."
It's pointless. You know what's really good, Grant? A good crunchy chickpea. They sell those.
I have those.
You put those in a salad.
Okay.
Gives you a little crunch. Plus the chickpea flavor.
That's not my favorite though. It's not my favorite.
Oh, you like mushy.
I like
You like
chickpeas.
you like it if you know your daycare lady blended up your entire lunch in a blender and you had to drink it. Oh no, that only happened to me. Oh, sorry.
Do you guys microwave your chickpeas?
No.
Okay.
No,
I didn't know if they were supposed to be cold or heated ever.
Do you like
I
hummus,
guess we
Grant?
could.
Yeah.
Hummus is cold, I think, unless you
I don't
put
eat
yours
it a
in
lot,
a
though.
pot.
Hummus is just blended chickpeas.
Yeah, actually, we weren't talking about cold temperature. We're talking about what?
Sorry, I eat my food out of a blender.
This is riveting. This is what people wanted to distract them from the draft lottery.
Okay.
Chickpea talk.
Thinking of me
crazy.
eating out of a blender.
Cody, did you have any more? I don't want to take the mic away from you too early. Did you have anything?
No,
more?
he said he was.
No, I
done.
live a pretty boring
Hey,
adult
did he?
life, so I'll pass the mic. I'm basically Grant.
Okay. I watched a movie.
Oh, what movie?
Exciting for me. Air.
Oh,
watched Air.
Did you go? No. You said
No,
he
it
was.
silly. It came out on Prime. Yeah.
I guess I'll be watching.
But I'm
that this
guessing
weekend,
Air
too.
wasn't on your list, so you didn't make a dent.
Evan's the one with
right.
the big list.
It's not
Grant's
on the
list isn't
OG.
huge.
It's
No.
20 deep. at
Everyone's
least.
list is pretty big. I mean, there's a lot of movies out there.
It got bumped to the top of the list because I was like, ooh. Overall, though, not going to spoil too much for Alex. There's not really much you can spoil because it's a real story. Like, people know, like, spoiler alert.
Just, is it a good movie?
They signed Michael Jordan. It's okay. I would say if I was born in, like, the 80s, I'd like it more because they really leaned into the nostalgia factor. Like, they even showed photos at the end in the credits of, like, matching the scenes. So they did a really good job of the music, the clothes they wore, the car Phil Knight drives. So that was good. Matt Damon carried it. He really was like 90% of the movie. I would say like Ben Affleck and Jason Bateman didn't do that much. Like they were sprinkled in.
Well, Ben Affleck directed it. People forget that.
Did
I
he?
believe so. So he was busy doing that.
Viola Burger King song out at a time like this.
Just trying to put on the Lakers Nuggets game in the background.
Viola Davis, Jordan's mom. I thought she was a great actress. I thought she did really well in that.
Agreed.
She really convinced me her son was good, which is kind of crazy how cocky. I know it worked out, but how cocky they portrayed it, where like she was just like, yeah, my son will be the best athlete of any sport ever.
I think a lot of moms do that, even in youth sports. Actually, this was a conversation at the bonfire, really, talking about how parents think that their kid is the next
Special.
sliced bread.
Yeah, like if you don't get any playing time and they just chew out the youth football coach. Like,
correct. That's exactly the conversation we had.
Yep.
That we've probably all had. Classic bonfire recycle conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Alex, there's one funny scene I'm gonna spoil, but it's
Well,
not
I
that
prefer you
important. It's just funny though when I'm sorry, but it's like at the end after all the pain they go through, They land Jordan. And is Alex trying to mute me? Is he taking this seriously? I think he is. I think he muted me. So, Cody, what a loser. It's not like... All right, this is funny because Damon comes into the middle of the room and he's like, hey, everybody, we signed Michael Jordan. And I was like, imagining being like an intern at Nike and going crazy. Like, yeah, we signed Jordan. And them all jumping up and down. I thought that was just a comical scene.
Yeah, especially like
really
hindsight
Alex.
when you're like, I know they signed Jordan. You know what I mean? Like it's just.
Yeah.
Welcome back, Alex.
Thanks.
Alex, you good?
Yeah.
What did you do? You muted me?
I just muted my headphones.
Oh, okay. So that was rating I would say in the 7 something out of 10.
Feels right.
It
My
wasn't
sister
top of
said
my
it was
mind.
good.
It wasn't top of my mind when I woke up. And usually that's the test, the big cat test. You think of it in the morning.
Agreed.
Can I say something?
No. Yeah, go ahead.
The Tigers game just ended, and when we were doing our opening, they were in the 7th inning. Is baseball that fast now, for real?
It is.
That's insane.
It's awesome.
I mean, that's wild. They were just starting the 7th.
You're in for such an awakening when your boycott's done.
I'm excited. That's quick.
Speaking of excitement, added a new tool to my workout arsenal. Thank you, Aaron Donald. Turns out if you put a towel through the handle of a kettlebell, it changes the dynamics of a kettlebell. It's wild. I don't know how to describe it other than if you try it, but highly
your
recommend
grip,
if you have a
Or
kettlebell.
were you doing different workouts with it?
It makes
yeah,
it
I'm
hard.
not really
It
sure
makes
what
it
you mean.
harder to grip.
Oh.
Makes it hard to grip because you're holding on to the towel, and like it also makes doing like curls and rows easier because the handle on a kettlebell is hard to get both hands on. Where if you just have two ends of a towel, you can spread out your grip farther.
Oh, I see
and
what you're
still
saying.
move it up.
So you move
Yeah.
it through in between. You curl like this. Curl like this.
Yeah, or
Yeah.
that, and then like rows. Think about you can flip
Yeah.
it and then row.
I now understand.
That's smart. Balances
like-
the weight out.
Yeah, and like yeah,
Yeah.
because like putting your hands like that and trying to do those things doesn't.
Yeah,
awkward.
base-
You almost have to
You're
do.
basically making a knockoff like barbell just with a towel. Smart.
Yeah,
Smart.
yeah. So shout
Except
out
the
the
towel's
Rams, I guess,
flimsy.
for posting. Well, yeah, you gotta get a good towel.
Well, not necessarily.
And then I went and Googled it because I was like, Aaron Downs doing it. I know he's like a freak at working out, but there has to be something to this in there. Like it helps a lot with your grip strength as well, like we talked about, because you're holding a towel to kind of balance everything as opposed to an actual piece of metal. So I enjoy it.
We're
Cool.
We're a couple.
You just stopped going to the gym?
Cool.
Huh?
You just stopped going to the gym, I take it?
I haven't been in the actual gym in a little bit. I have been doing a lot more home workouts because they've been effective.
Well, it doesn't look like it.
And I'm gearing up because my gym access is going to be going away shortly. So I'm kind of, instead of diving into it more, I'm prepping for life without it for a little bit.
Even though you could just get a
So I got a
gym membership.
45-pound kettlebell and a pair of 15-pound dumbbells.
I'm sure you're going to go far with those.
Because the dumbbells are really just for my shoulders. Because I don't know how people do shoulder raises like 20 or higher. I mean, that's hard for me. I'll be
these?
transparent with everyone. Like lateral raises.
Yeah, unless I'm throwing my body around, 20's like my max.
Oh, I do 30s, but
I think my shoulder hurts me a lot sometimes too. I get nervous. So I stay with 15s and just do a lot of reps.
Yeah, my shoulders pop out, so it's just not really smart for me.
I've simply gone to 30s just out of need because at the time I go to the gym, there's like a few women and smaller men that lift, and they all eat up the 15s and 20s. So I just started going, you know what? I'm just gonna choose the 30s, and you know, it's some days it really hurts. I'll be honest.
Sometimes when you have to do that, it's not fun.
But
Yeah.
you gotta do what you
You can
gotta
always
do.
take 5s. They're always available.
Might as well just go home.
Okay. The end of our check-ins is 2 questions we had from listeners. We can go kind of quickly through. One is from long listener Ben V. This is a tough one. He says this: if you had to give one up, would you give up watching all sports, in-person television highlights, or give up playing all sports, never golf or shoot hoops or anything again? Caveat: you're allowed to watch your children play sports through high school, which is very specific now that I read it. Like once they get to college, if they get to college, you're done.
Yeah.
You can watch them through high school. What would you guys do? I have my answer, and I feel pretty good about defending it. I'm just curious.
I have my answer. So, Wilkins, why don't you go first?
I think
Cody's had the least amount of time to think.
I think mine would be. I think mine would be play probably, because the only thing that makes it somewhat of a toss up is golf, really. Because if you think about it, Alex is on a rec league for basketball, but I'm already past like my regular basketball days. There's not really any other sports I'm ever going to play. I'm on a bowling league. That's not really a sport. Let's just be honest. Let's call a spade there. So it's really golf. And
So we can bowl?
I can only really golf like, oh my God.
No, Alex.
You can only really golf in Michigan like 4 or 5 months out of the year, depending how dedicated you really are. So, and I can watch sports year round. And whenever I'm through my movie list or I'm through Netflix or whatever that might look like, I can always throw a baseball game on, NBA. And I think there's so much more adrenaline. Like, think about us watching the draft lottery, how exciting that was. I don't think I've ever been that excited to golf, I'll be honest. So that's I think where I lie.
I would also. Now, this is much more difficult for me because I golf a lot.
Yeah.
And I like golf a lot. I put a lot of time into it. The basketball thing I can get over. I mean, you can still work out. You can still run. You can do everything, right? You can still do all that.
Mm-hmm.
And the amount of joy sports brings me watching just feels like it passes what I can do playing at this point in my life. So therefore, I would give up playing sports. It'd suck, but I just can't imagine like what I would do if I didn't have the ability to watch sports, because that is all I do.
Like,
Really?
Imagine the
like,
Lions.
what am I gonna do?
Imagine the Lions go to the Super Bowl and everybody's telling you about it. They're like, "Dude, you gonna go to the Super Bowl?" No, I can't. I can't watch sports anymore. I chose one day, and I chose playing. You know how miserable that'd be?
Our whole society talks about sports like when they happen. Every group chat I'm in is only pretty much about sports, and I would feel so left out. I would have serious fun.
God, you guys are making me want to change my mind. I wrote down give up watching as
But
my
you
initial
can't.
pick.
Yeah, I think that's the wrong answer.
But
You
I
miss
think,
out
like,
on so
honestly,
much.
I would never want to do it, but if you said you had to give one up, I think I would try to use that fork in the road to just live a more adventurous, stress-free
That is
life.
also
Like
fair.
if
That's
like
fine.
Alex, like we could just
I love
maybe-
remembering the sad moments, though. I
the
love it like
hardest part
God,
would be
like so devastated. That's awesome because we care
That's
so
kinda
much.
sick. You're a masochist, I
Grant,
think.
what leads me to your side is I'm like, oh no, gosh, I'm not able to watch the Red Box Bowl 7-6, Michigan State, Oregon. Like, oh no, take me away, officer. Yeah, I would rather give up that, but there's the highs too.
Yeah. And then if you get like really good at golf, I don't know. It's just I was seeing
Newsflash, Grant, not happening.
You can't get good at golf because
Well,
you couldn't watch sport. Like,
Alex.
would you be able to watch like golf videos, like to improve your game?
No,
Yeah.
Yeah, you can watch instructional
Okay.
videos. No highlights though. No like Tiger Woods
Okay.
highlights.
Wow.
I don't
That
know.
would
I
suck,
think
dude. That
the
would
bigger part is, like,
suck.
the social aspect. Like I want to hang out with you guys, and we're gonna gather around a TV, like Michigan, Ohio State. Do I just sit at the table and not watch the TV, but like hang out with you guys? Like, how does that work?
You don't get to go. That's pretty much that.
You never get to go.
No,
to
you
and then,
go, but
like-
I can't watch.
And
it.
then you'll be like, "Hey guys, let's all go golfing," and be like, "Yeah, sorry, dude, can't play sports.
I know. It's a good question.
We need to be in unison here, Grant."
I'm not. I'm sticking to my guns.
But like, I
Okay.
know. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do from October to May? What are you gonna do?
Roller hockey.
What are you
Like
gonna
I'll just
do?
become sick at every rec sport.
You need people to play that with you.
You guys.
No, we can't.
Yeah, you can.
And even if we could, are we really going to want to play roller hockey on a Wednesday night? Probably not.
Grant's life would essentially be our senior year, or like the summer before college, when we just played like free throw competitions and had hockey shootouts.
Cage ball, Herrick ball, rec league.
But your son tells you, Grant, I want to go. Dad, I want to go to the football game.
I want to go to the Lions game.
I want to go to the Lions game. Dad,
Sorry, son.
I want to take
Can't.
that mitt so I can catch a foul ball. Sorry, son. We can
Ask
play
your
that
mom.
at home.
Well, my son's not bringing a foul ball, first of all, or a glove. That's a fact.
Yeah, that's good.
But yeah, that's also a good point. You guys are making good points. I'm considering switching at some point, but not right now.
I mean, I really don't want to give up golf either, so I don't think it's a guaranteed lock either way.
It's a hard question.
Can we just like rotate years? Like, I'll go next year with no sports to play sports,
What?
and
Like
then
we're
I will
like
change it back.
We're like a crop cycle. Like we're gonna plant.
Well, no, like you can pick.
Next.
You have like a date that you decide, and you can see where all your teams are at, and be like,
Oh,
oh
no,
yeah,
we don't
I
have
can
Ben.
pass on sports
Ben,
this year.
no, Ben gave us the question. Alex.
Well, good thing it's
Another
bullshit,
great-
and it'll never have to happen.
Another great question from also guest in front of the pod, Chief of Prop. You submitted this one, which has taken a new meaning now that we've seen the results of the lottery. I still stick with my answer, but this is the question. What great sports memory would you be willing to lose in exchange for the Pistons to win the draft lottery tomorrow, aka tonight? I'll go first to give anyone inspiration because mine's hot out the gates, and I'll stand by, and people may come for this take. I could do without lose the memory of Mackley Ordonez.
That was the first thing that came to my head. I'll be honest.
Was it?
Yeah, because
And my reasoning is simple. One, I saw it. I wasn't too young, so I do remember this, and it was a cool moment, but it was a sweep. We beat them 4-0. It wasn't like Game 7, and I know it was cool, but we were going to dust the A's at some point in the series. We could have just gone to the World Series in a normal fashion, and I would trade all that to get Wembanyama tonight. Easy.
we also didn't win the World Series that year, so it discounts that walk-off a little bit.
Yeah.
This was a hard question because I don't know how high stakes you're supposed to go.
My like
Couldn't I
biggest
just-
memories were beating Michigan 2 years ago at home. Kenneth Walker 5-touchdown game. I don't think Victor Wembanyama.
Neither of you would give
No,
that
because
up, right?
we didn't even like. I was talking to Alex.
That's an in-person
I don't have
elite
any
moment.
pictures of that game because
Hmm.
Alex and I genuinely just weren't on our phone the entire game. We were that locked in.
Just locked in.
I was thinking like
Yeah, you can't give that one up.
the Rose Bowl. I was thinking like maybe the Cotton Bowl win, but that was like probably one of the best
I don't
football
think I
games
can
I've
give this
ever
up.
watched. And I think out of the four major sports, baseball is probably my least favorite, so that's where I immediately went Ordonez.
Yeah, I think it just depends. Also, you guys said where you saw it. Like I thought about doing Pool's buzzer beater, but I was at the St. Patrick's Day party, and I don't want to lose that memory because it was really fun.
Mm-hmm.
It just depends on how you consumed it. I was in my living room for Ordonez, so again, it's like not
Mine might
doesn't
be a
really
hot
get my
take.
juices flowing.
Well, mine would
What
be a
is
hot
it?
take if Evan was on the pod. I'd give up
Kings
the
Cup?
Peach Bowl for sure.
Oh,
I'd give that up
well,
because
you weren't there.
wasn't there. Walker didn't play. Pickett didn't play. All the best moments of that season had already happened.
That's a decent point. I was on that trip with Evan, and I think as a trip,
I know
wouldn't
Evan
wanna
would be
give up that memory.
furious.
I think the game itself, maybe it really was mad. We
mean-
played their third string quarterback. We ran for like 20 rushing yards, and the only like cool memory really that I
Came
have
back
in
from
my head
14
still
points.
was Jaden Reed rocking the baby on the guy. Like that was probably the best memory from. Well, I mean,
Yeah,
and
if you-
Cal Halliday picked 6, but.
If you wrote them on paper and you were like Peach Bowl win versus third string QB versus getting the best prospect allegedly since
Yeah.
LeBron, you would take
It's
the
true.
prospect
It's true.
every
Yes.
time. But
Correct.
the trip obviously plays a factor, so that's a good one for the people that were there.
I'm
Yeah,
certainly not
that was a
giving
good
up
question.
the Cotton Bowl, Rose Bowl, none of those.
Yeah,
Not
because
giving those
Grant, I assume you wouldn't give up either of the last 2 wins against Ohio State, right?
Correct.
I feel
You
like
would give up
if
the
I-
Big Ten
well, I feel like in all
championships.
3 of our lives, 2 college football is 1A. Like NBA is probably 4 or 5 on that list.
I would give up Purdue. I would have given up losing to Purdue because we still would have made the playoff this past year.
Oh, like the
That's a
Big Ten
nothing
championship.
It's like
really.
a caveat, but yeah.
Yeah, it's a cheat. It's a cheat. Pistons title I would not give up because that was my childhood.
I'd probably give up a Wings title. Let's be just completely
Wings
honest.
title.
I'd be willing.
I remember seeing it.
I'd be willing to give up losing.
I do remember
38
watching
to nothing to Alabama in the Cotton Bowl. I'd be willing to give that up.
Yeah, I'd give that.
That's big of you, Cody.
I'd give up the Arizona State losses.
Yep.
Okay, these are losses. Okay. All right. Speaking of losses, we're into the show now. The first thing I had, LeBron James, who we're watching now, go Nugs. They're up by 14 on my screen.
Yeah, Lakers are dead.
But the problem is that overall, LeBron James is a problem. We have hit the panic button for me.
Good. Should. Just scored.
Jamal Murray's out there. That's good. It's just so Evan's a non-LeBron guy. Cody's a non-LeBron guy. Alex is kind of pro-LeBron guy, but acknowledges his flaws,
pro. Just Alex is just a reasonable human being. That's just what it comes down to.
I feel like it's grown more into like a troll,
gaslighting.
like a
No, I really
control
do. No, I really do like LeBron, and I think he's a good dude off the court. He's a cornball, does some weird shit that I don't love. He's getting weirder with his old age. He's like a dad. Just got bad dad humor.
Well, he is a dad, yeah.
But like, he gets so much slander. I have to root for him. And as a kid, I liked him a lot.
He's just a liar, and that's a big thing I don't enjoy watching.
He said Bronny is better than a lot of guys in the NBA right now. That was an absurd statement.
It's his son. It's
The
his
one from the
son.
last
What's he going to
round that
say?
hurts me.
My son sucks. He's not going to say
When
that.
he said, like, no team I've been on has a history of flopping, when there's like 5-minute highlight reels of LeBron flopping throughout his career. And it's just like, I just wish he would have leaned into the villain role back in the day and not just tried to be everyone's best friend, which is what he tried to be, but it backfired because he didn't play it right. He became a villain the moment he went on TV with the YMCA of Cleveland in his face and said, I'm going to Miami. I mean, that
He was
made him a
young
villain.
and he made a bad decision, dude. Happens.
It does, but he
He didn't
didn't.
kill his dad.
Now you're Wyatt. I mean, that's just speculatory.
He does, but like seriously though, not that what I just said. but
I guess I just don't get
LeBron off the court is like he's done nothing wrong, really, ever. Like no,
He throws his teammates under the bus. Kevin Love, perfect example. Talk to Kevin Love about
he's
that.
never done anything like law related, bad, anything.
He gives his kids wine. They're not 21.
Oh, legal in France.
Cody trolls.
I guess I just
Stop saying France, dude. Chill.
I don't get the hate towards like KD when he jumped to the Warriors for a super team, but nobody hates LeBron the same way. There's all these Bron sexuals.
Well, Katie's just not as good. That's the problem.
Oh, wrong.
He's really good on offense, but like LeBron is a total basketball player. Is better
When
than
he
him.
wants to be. Look at his defensive numbers.
I mean, I would love to be able to defend KD. Cody, I can't take you on this one.
Yeah.
KD has really let me
Yeah,
down
he has.
the last couple
He
of
has.
years.
I'm living in the past.
This is really
I'm living
bad.
in the past. I can't
He's
do
never
that.
won on his own.
No,
Yeah.
he never really has. He had to join
Well,
him.
He
neither is
needs
LeBron.
Steph
If
every
anything,
time.
Neither is LeBron. He needed Ray Allen.
Well,
He needed Anthony Davis.
Cody's going, I can't take Cody.
yeah, but
going
Cody,
bars
like
on
you
Encore,
need,
and I can't take
you have to have a player on every team that's gonna do something. You can't win by yourself.
LeBron, 100% number 2 best player of all time. I can't dispute that. I just don't like the guy. He also ended my favorite team as a child.
Yeah, that
26
sucked.
points or whatever
That's
in a row.
fair.
So just have never liked him. And we are in trouble. I dove into the analytics. These two teams were 2-2 in the regular season. But
That seems irrelevant.
one of the Denver wins was when everyone on the Lakers sat out. So I believe we are in trouble as anti-Bron guys in this series. I know the first quarter half's gone well, but just watching LeBron against the Warriors, the old school like bully ball, not settling for threes is back. He was just manhandling people at the rim.
Yeah.
awesome.
Manhandling people.
It's awesome to watch.
Alex, I'm not.
I had a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh,
The
go
dude
ahead.
is 38
No,
years
I'm
old.
not sure how tuned in you are to the
It's
game
crazy.
right now, Alex. Is AD on Jokic or who do they have guarding it?
I haven't watched enough to know.
That's what I'm curious. I feel like however
Jokic is
that
guarding
matchup goes-
AD.
However that matchup goes will decide the series. Well, Jokic can't play defense.
Yeah, AD has scored most times I look up.
Yeah.
I had two interesting tweets I saw that I'm going to pull up here. So you see this first one? This one blew my mind. 2007, LeBron killed the going to work Pistons era with 25 straight. Since then, 94 Pistons players have seen their NBA careers end, and LeBron is leading his team to a 3-1 series lead in the playoffs. That's bananas. And
Well,
then
they actually won
this
that
one
series, so even better.
was fascinating that in history, the 7 seed has only made it to the finals one other time.
So
truly-
you're saying LeBron is actually the definition of greatness, and you're finally admitting it? It's good.
But
big
that's
for
where
you.
you get twisted. I just want him to lose, but I know he's great. That's because it's fun. Because
Now,
he's
I've
an
never
early
seen
opponent
you.
for my
I've
hatred.
never seen you actually, or heard you actually say that he is great. I've never heard you say that ever.
You know
So
what I will
calling him
say?
the second best player ever is not saying he's great.
I've
That's
never heard
just-
you say
you're
that
just
till
being
right
dumb.
now.
You're being a silly
I've
little boy.
listened to you
Of
say
course.
KD's better. I've listened to you say Steph might be better. I've listened to everything from you, Grant. Don't
know
try
what
to
I will
twist it
say?
now and seem like, oh, you've always thought this. You haven't, and you know it. And you know it.
No, I've said they can threaten. I've never given them the mantle.
They're not even close.
I will say
I agree.
LeBron is an all-time great leader. I will give him his flowers on that aspect. I was listening to a Larry Nance interview
Kevin Love.
where, well,
Well, we listen
And
to
every
the same
coach.
podcast, Wilkins.
that kind of that kind of dictated where I guess the Kevin Love's a bad example, but Larry Nance was essentially saying LeBron's never been the guy to point fingers in a locker room. It's always a we thing, and he's always there to help the
Mhm.
younger guys learn.
Mhm.
Which Kevin Love's another bad
Yes,
example
it's-
there. Maybe
But
I
Larry
wanna
Nance
take-
was on that team, and
Larry
Kevin
Nance
Love
was
is
on that
his
team.
best friend.
so. That's where I will take it as that. Because say what you want, Kobe, rest in peace. Like Kobe, probably my favorite NBA player of all time. But I mean, that would have been a nightmare to have been on a team with that guy. Like him just going at you, screaming in your face all the time. I would have crumbled. Just knowing
If you're
myself.
soft, you would not be
You're
able to
saying
handle
Mike?
that.
You're saying Michael? I would have loved being a teammate with Michael.
No,
Put me
Kobe.
in my place if I need
Kobe.
to be. Oh,
Well, both of them are
Both
like
of them,
that.
really.
Just
well,
scream at
Kobe.
you.
We watched LeBron was just putzing around in the Olympics, and they had to bring in Kobe
That is true.
to
To
go,
run
like,
through
win
Pau
the
Gasol.
Olympics finally.
Yeah.
LeBron,
Well, we watched that. LeBron and Kobe did that together.
LeBron like
Let's not kid ourselves.
subtweeted about all. LeBron subtweeted about all his young teammates in LA and just packed them up in a box and shipped them out for Anthony Davis. He's not like the best teammate of all
No.
time. I cannot say
Yeah,
and
that is
pretend like the guy's been a
As
spitting
Bill
image of
Simmons says,
leadership.
LeBron, when he knows his team has a chance to actually win, he's balls deep, all in, and if he knows they suck, he doesn't care and he just turns it off.
And that's
And
what we
that's the
call
one
that?
thing. That's the one thing that's not great.
That's called front running, and I don't think we like front runners.
Except when you're the second greatest player of all time by your standard.
And
He's
yours.
not a front runner. He just is that good, and he can kind of do whatever he wants because he's that good, and that's just how it works.
If he stayed in Cleveland this whole time, I don't even think we're having this conversation.
He took the Cleveland Cavaliers to the finals with dirt around him. You said like he had Ray Allen later. He had absolute butt cheeks and went to the finals like 10 years in a row.
Well, they played.
in his first iteration, he did, but not like when the Cavs beat the Warriors.
When he
those
won,
teams were
yeah,
good.
they had some guys.
He,
Yeah,
he took that. He took
What?
that one.
that Cavs team was impressive.
He took that one Cavs team when Kyrie and K-Love were injured. It was like Amon Shumpert was the two on that team.
Yeah, they didn't win,
But they beat like
Right.
20.
When
The
he
East
dropped
was
51 9
The
9
East-
against
the
the
East
greatest
was a-
NBA team of all
The
time.
East was bad.
The East was a joke. It was. Remember the Kyle Korver Hawks were the vaunted one seed. I mean,
Yeah.
please,
Like Boonholzer.
Paul Millsap.
I mean, if he takes this Lakers team to the finals against what is on paper a really, really good Denver team and just beat the defending champions, I mean, then I don't want to hear peep out of your mouth.
I'm not. I'm a panic button has been
I
pressed.
don't think they're going to beat Denver for the record.
I do.
I just think Denver's
Every
I
time
think
he gets to the
I think they'll
finals
figure
from
it out.
here on out, he's like running up the score on Jordan just because of how bad the end of Jordan's career was. Like, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually saw MJ and the Wizards at a Pistons game once, and it was not pretty.
what LeBron is doing at 38 is unheard of, unfathomable, unfathomable.
Tom Brady won a Super Bowl at 44, so it's just the era of sports we live in.
Playing
Sports
basketball
sciences.
versus playing quarterback is
No,
a lot different.
Cody, speaking of NFL football, the Lions. What a transition. Rookie minicamp. We'll start with that this weekend. Did you guys see anything? Any reports? Any
Yeah, I
that
did.
tickled you?
Yeah, I did. Sam Laporta is the next best tight end in the NFL. That's what I've heard.
yeah,
That's what you
I
gathered?
read.
That's what I read.
Travis Kelce, but better.
I read
No.
Gronk Kelsey hybrid with Tony Gonzalez type hands.
And he already has a brother to do a podcast with.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Have you heard Laporta talk? He's a pretty funny guy. No.
When I actually saw Laporta talk for the first time, I thought he was a goon.
But like funny.
Just like a
lighthearted, funny
goony,
guy.
like soft guy. But apparently he's a
He
dog.
loves life. He always smiles.
Just a happy dude.
What I saw, I didn't love to see that Gibbs and Branch got knocks, early injury knocks. You don't
They're
like to
fine.
see that.
Do you see the video
Well,
today?
yeah, no.
They took a bus around
Them
Detroit.
touring the field, they looked totally fine. They were like walking around, chatting and dancing on the field. They looked
You
absolutely
were reading
fine.
body language?
They
Reading
were
body
dancing and like practicing their Euro steps on the field.
I don't think
We're
Dan
fine.
Campbell wants the
No
media
boots or anything.
to see how good Jahmyr Gibbs is, so they're trying to keep him under wraps for when they have no media in the practices.
language. That is
Spicy.
something right there,
Yeah.
Cody.
I'm just saying.
We got to workshop that one a little bit, but I don't hate it. They can't let Dave Burkett get his eyes on Gibbs
I
and tell the
swear.
world how good he is.
Jack Campbell, though, dog.
Dog. I like 46. I thought it looked good on him.
Broderick Martin.
I don't care.
That's the kid's name, right, from Western Kentucky.
Roger Martin looked big.
Yeah, he
Give
looks
him that.
massive.
He looks scary.
He
But
told a funny story that he was like setting up for his draft party because he thought he was going to get drafted a day later. And he like had to run down to the reception room and tell his mom he got drafted so they can stop preparing the party for that night or like the next day. I will say this I listened to some of the guys like quick press conferences they had from the camp. Very impressed with how they all spoke. Like nice, genuine dudes, which I think we understand that's what our regime wants. But it's kind of refreshing. You can tell they just love football and they're respectful to the reporters.
Yeah.
And I like that. No divas in this draft class. I'm predicting that.
Agreed.
I sure hope so.
I do have a question. I may have missed it. Have we signed Gibbs and Branch?
No.
Is like do you think that's
No.
playing a factor on why they actually aren't playing? In
No, it's
minicamp?
usual.
Okay.
It's normal for them to not be signed.
I don't understand how the rookie
'Cause-
stuff works because I feel like the contracts are pretty set in stone, but I think they have to like work out a
think
little
they
bit
work
of
out
details
signing
on,
bonus?
They
like,
work out the
bonuses.
signing bonus, the signing and
'Cause-
guaranteed stuff in the beginning.
I know we signed that 7th round receiver and then Colby Sorsdahl, the guard or tackle, but I don't think we signed anybody else, which is interesting.
I bet Sorsdahl wasn't hard to negotiate with.
I think the
Yeah,
5th
once
through
it's
7th
people's
round picks
faces.
usually sign pretty fast.
Yeah,
So they're like, holy shit.
It's just a little
let's do
con-
this thing.
Look at
I
us.
don't.
A
I don't
bunch of
think it's like.
Rappaports and Peliceros. Just
I don't think you got to click the panic
Break it
button,
down.
but I think a lot of other teams
No.
have signed most of their draft picks. So I just wonder what's taking Brad so long here.
Well, Jalen Carter signed fast because he's about to.
he's
go
trying to trade
prison.
for Quinnen Williams, probably.
Oh,
Okay, schedule, another huge thing. Let's do the video first. For guys like us, I thought the video was hilarious. I think they nailed it with our demographic. I will say though, talking to some people, like it came up in conversation with my family, and my sister's like, I thought it was terrible because like she doesn't get that kind of humor.
I thought
So-
it was dumb.
Oh, you didn't like the schedule release?
I thought there was some funny bits, but like overall, the concept I thought was kind of stupid.
wow,
it's better than the Chargers.
Just because there's so many that were like really good, and then I was like,
well.
well,
If the Titans one didn't come out, I think the Lions would have been up there. But I think the Titans one collectively was probably the best video, just because everybody could relate to it. Like everybody thought it was funny.
yeah,
I thought the Jags one was funny.
really,
It was like
Yes,
9
it
minutes
did.
long though.
just so
Yeah.
long.
It's hilarious though.
It's hard to get people. to
Titans
watch
was
that
funny. I think the Chargers ones are cool. I think they're funny too.
one. Yeah, they're well done. They know all the inside jokes. I just thought the idea of like listening to Brad and Dan talk like that was pretty funny.
yeah, but I just thought
And like
some-
seeing Jared come in as Ryan Gosling made me laugh.
Amon-Ra St. Clown.
Listen, there were
Great
some
lines,
funny
too.
bits. I just thought the overall idea of how they did it with Madden as the background was the part that I didn't like.
Really? I thought it'd be so fun to work for them and like cook up those Madden scenarios. Like the
It'd
way
be
they had
fun to
them
like
play
do
out.
them and make the plays and change the sliders so you can make a 75-yard kick. But
Uh,
So you wouldn't have top 5? I thought top 5. I thought it was pretty good.
I mean, I haven't seen all 32 teams.
think
release
think of
videos.
how
I don't know
long it
much
took
time on
them
my
to
hands,
make
but-
that with like the Madden sim though, like that Panay catch at the front pylon. Do you know how long they probably had an intern had to play Madden to cut that clip?
I was thinking about that
and,
when
like,
that happened. I was like, they probably ran this like
control.
14 times.
User control Amon-Ra on his brother on a
Yeah.
fader out and like catch it perfectly.
I watched one where the one guy had to be the defensive end and crash him inside so that somebody could score. Because they must have tried it a million times and not done like user defense. And they're like, yeah, we got to move this guy out. It's just not going to happen.
Are you telling me Alex you didn't get you?
No, I
impressed? Like,
did. I did like it.
like,
I just didn't think it was
we
like
even hit the.
awesome.
What do we need a Gwitty waiting?
Yeah,
I was like, this is
That made me laugh. I just didn't like their voices. Like it just didn't. I don't know. It didn't sound real to me. It might have to you, but it just sounded like goofy to me.
Well, I mean, it's AI. I think it was as close as they could get.
Yeah.
And I thought
He was like,
the interns made it about
"These nuts."
themselves too many times.
I
What do you mean?
the thing that confused me was the fictitious coach that they said like RIP to. That bit went way over my head. I don't know what that
Oh
was.
yeah, I didn't like that.
Yeah, I didn't know the joke.
Yeah.
I'm sure it was funny. I just didn't know.
They
It
were-
doesn't look like Dan. It does not look like
Yeah,
Dan.
I think they were just saying it was like the other Dan
Yeah.
because it didn't look like Dan. Why didn't Dan look like Dan in the game? It's a bigger question.
It's true.
Was that the new
quick-
Madden? People are asking.
I don't know. It didn't look very good gameplay. if
Looks
I'm
like
being honest.
shit. That's also another thing that bothered me.
Um,
Like if that's the new Madden, that looks terrible.
quick random fact of the day before we get into our predictions of the schedule. I have a graphic to share with you guys that caught my attention as well. And then I have a trivia stat for you. So we may have all seen this puppy come across the internet this week. Of each team's last 4,000-yard passer. Obviously, the biggest thing was the Bears have never had one, which is comical. Absolutely comical. Ours, Goff. But the question for you is, outside of Stafford and Goff, can you name the other player for the Lions that has thrown for 4,000 yards in our lifetime? And it happened twice, and it's a tough one.
Any hints?
Not Goff or Stafford in our lifetime.
Between the 2000 and 2010?
In our lifetime.
1990. So it was in the, if one of them's in the 90s, then forget
No,
it.
we saw this person play. And the numbers were 4,068 and 4,208. So barely did it, but did it twice. Not very good seasons.
Sean Hill?
1 year was 3-13. No,
John Kitna.
John Kitna is the answer.
Boom.
John Kitna threw for 4,000 yards twice in our lifetime,
Baller.
which surprised me, to be honest with me.
I mean, I just
16
nailed
game
it.
season too. Yeah, Alex. Want a cookie?
Yeah, kind of.
All right. Let's see here.
AD is
Let's
guarding
go.
Jokic.
We're gonna do the
I love
schedule.
that.
So let me get this. pulled
Best
up
player
for
on the
you.
Lakers on the best player on the Nuggets.
Let's not look at the preseason because we don't need that. This is the order we'll go. We'll go by name. So Alex will go first, then Cody, then Grant. And you'll just say win or loss and any nugget you want to share. You don't have to. You can just say win or loss if you want. We'll start with the Chiefs.
I have to go first, of course.
Alex, Cody, Grant. Alex, Cody, Grant.
Loss.
Win CJ revenge game.
I have a loss here. That's wild, Cody. I think you're.
I think we're gonna-
I'm
gonna-
sorry. The Chiefs are just so good, dude.
We're gonna-
They're just not going to pick against them.
Who's he throwing to?
I wouldn't be surprised if they won. I'd be a little surprised.
Seattle.
Win.
Home. Fourth field opener.
Win because the Seahawks are messing around and taking away snap carries from Kenneth Walker for Zach Charbonnet. What a joke.
Win as well. So
Redemption.
we'll split there. Home game, Falcons, 1 p.m. Fox.
Murder. And Jeff Okuda gets torched on Ford Field.
Unnecessary.
Win. Easy.
Win. At Green Bay, Jordan Love, Thursday night, 8:15 Prime Video.
Win. Close.
Think
I hate to do it, but I have us beating the Chiefs, so we're due for a letdown early, so I'm going to say loss at Lambeau.
Okay, that makes sense if you're following that logic. I got a win here. Now we go to Carolina. Redemption from last year's debacle. Home, Ford Field, 1 p.m. Bryce Young.
In a torture chamber. Win.
Bryce Young's not even going to start. It's going to be Andy Dalton, therefore we're going to win by even more.
This actually might be Bryce Young's first start, and he's going to get
It could be
obliterated.
And
You guys don't think he's going to start out the game?
they already
No,
said
they
it's
said
going to
he
be
isn't.
Andy Dalton. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. And he's
Alright.
little, and when he gets Hutchinson and some other dudes in his face, he's screwed.
Plus, we have real turf, so whatever Carolina did last year was unfair.
That's
Vic
Gazy.
Torrey.
Win as well. Okay, now we go to at Baker Mayfield, Tampa Bay Bucks, 1
They
p.m. Fox.
stink. They stink.
I got a bad feeling about this game.
Win.
Cody's got a bet.
We're going to win, though.
Cody. All right, I got a win as well. So we got a lot of sweeps here to start. But now it gets a little interesting. A lot of fans wanted Lamar Jackson. We get to play Lamar Jackson and Odell at Baltimore, 1 p.m. Fox.
And
What do we got else?
Lamar shoves it down our throats because we haven't played a quarterback like that can run around. Loss.
Aaron Glenn can't scheme against quarterbacks like this for whatever reason. I don't think we have the speed.
It has
Even with
been the
Jack
case so
Campbell.
far. Sorry, Aaron.
So loss.
I have a loss as well. So we are really lockstep right now. Let's see how things move to Halloween Eve. Las Vegas Raiders come to Detroit. First Monday Night Football game since 2018, I want to say. It'll be rowdy. It'll be loud. They have a solid team with Jimmy G, game manager. But what happens here?
It'll be a party and a letdown loss. Late Devontae Adams touchdown. This is my stunner.
Oh, no.
Jimmy G.
This would break
Jimmy
us.
G will be injured by this point. We will be playing Jarrett Stidham. I have a Jerry
hurt
Jacobs
us.
seatbelt getting pick six to seal the win.
Ooh, I love that detail. I have a win as well. I think this crowd is going to be crazy, and there will be a big buzz in the streets of Detroit after this win. Probably some arrests, but it'll be worth it for the win. Bye week
That's a W.
now.
Win the bye.
We win the bye week.
Out of the bye at Los Angeles Chargers, the Anime Goats, SoFi Stadium, 405 CBS game.
Reminder, Lions are on a
Probably-
2-game losing streak for me.
Probably Nance and Romo.
Probably. And the Lions come out of the bye week angry and win.
Wow.
6-3.
I think this is a loss. I think this is who's the Chargers wide receiver? I'm blanking on his name. This is a
Quentin
this
Johnson.
is a Keenan Allen
Mike Williams.
Keenan Allen audition game for Brad Holmes here at SoFi Stadium.
Jalen Guyton. Addition game. I like that. I have a loss as well.
So we're all at the same
split on
record.
this one. 6-3 is what I have.
6-3.
Home against division opponent, the Bears, the second division game of the year. They're stacked late in the year. Alex.
Victory.
W.
W. You just don't lose to the Bears at home. Sorry, Bears fans. Your time's not here yet. Back-to-back division games at home. Love that. Green Bay, assert your dominance. Thanksgiving, gobble gobble, 12:30 p.m. Does Dan Campbell get his first home victory Thanksgiving
No.
here?
Yes, he does. Victory.
We're gonna get Jahmyr Gibbs eating a turkey leg after this game. W.
Jahmyr Gibbs might go crazy in that game.
Jameer and Jameson both have turkey legs. 8-3. Lions. Okay, at New Orleans, this is a very intriguing storyline game. We have our regime going back to their roots. New Orleans has a lot of mojo. They should win their division. I've seen on FanDuel that they're like higher odds to make the playoff than us because I think their division's so weak. But they got Carr, they got Kamara. They should have maybe Michael Thomas. I don't know his status. 1 p.m. though, Fox. What do we think here?
I think it's tough to go play there, and I think that we lose. It's the NFL.
I
It's
think
hard to win
I think
games.
Dennis Allen is a bad NFL head coach. For that reason, I think we're
I
going to win this
agree.
game. And I also, Kamara might be suspended for a few games.
That does matter.
So I'm not sure where
Thomas
that
might
comes.
be not in the lineup anymore either. He usually fizzles out.
They
by this
do
point.
have Chris Olave, Grant. They do have a receiver.
Based on Cody's thoughts, that was where my mind went. I got nervous and I realized it's Dennis Allen, not Sean Payton. I will take the win. I will take the revenge game for Dan and Aaron. I can see them hugging, walking off the field at Superdome that they just conquered their former employer. So we
Good
have
storyline.
9-3 for me.
8-4.
At Chicago Bears, Soldier Field, Division, 1 p.m. December
Now,
game.
the reason I had them lose to the Saints is because then they'd be in a letdown spot against the Bears. But no, not me. They're not in a letdown spot. They're in a must-win game, and they march into Soldier Field and pull it out.
I can't get the Panthers game last year out of my head, and Soldier Field in early December screams bad grass to me. So I think we're gonna let something down here with Justin Fields. Loss.
I think it's going to be a gross field, like Cody said. I just think we are going to dominate them in the trenches because they're soft and we are not. And I think we win this game. And we're rolling right now in my head. And then we follow that up with we welcome Let Russ Cook and Sean Payton to Ford Field, time TBA for either Saturday or Sunday of that weekend.
No, yeah. Now, this one's tough. Mentor, the whole shebang, Sean Payton, Dan Campbell. But it's at home. You got to defend the den, so it's a win.
The Broncos might have a bottom 5 offensive line in the league. For that reason, I think Hutch goes crazy. This is a Hutch 2-3 sack game. Maybe James Houston as well. So I'm going to give us the W here.
Now, Cody, I'll warn you, they're trying to reload that. Sean Payton's trying to reload it. We'll see, though.
Look at what the Rams did.
I think Denver's going to be pretty good.
The Rams tried to reload it last year.
I do too. And as dumb as it is, if this game was at Mile High, automatic loss. But since I saw it's at Ford Field, it's a win. I have us up to 11-3. The buzz is an all-time high right now for the Lions.
10-4 for me.
So with that, we head to at Vikings. Won the North this past year, 1 p.m. Fox. Christmas Eve, big day in the country. What happens at U.S. Bank?
What happened last year at U.S. Bank on Christmas Eve or whatever? What was that holiday where they came back? It was right around
the Eve game was the Giants whiteout. That was the Giants whiteout game they won on a field goal.
What was the game the Vikings came back from 500 points?
That was December 18th.
That was a Saturday game, right?
That was a Saturday game.
I think that it'll go similar to that, except the Vikings don't come back, and the Lions absolutely dominate them.
Dan Campbell, for whatever reason, can't coach in U.S. Bank Stadium. He always crumbles and makes a bad decision, so I think we're going to lose this.
Just because it happened once doesn't mean it always happens.
It's happened the last 2 years. We lost to the Vikings
remember the other one.
first year.
But that's because we sucked.
I think both these teams are going to be playing for the postseason at this point. It's going to be a rowdy environment, probably another whiteout. Vikings are going to win this game. And it's going to set up an interesting chess match for the last game of the season. Now, we follow that treacherous environment up with going to Jerry World, 8:15 p.m., which looks like it's going to be played on Saturday as a Monday night football game. What happens in this puppy?
Yeah, we lose. Just don't see it.
Cody?
I think at some point we're going to win a big road game, and I think it's here.
Mine was the week before.
Yeah.
Nice.
Mine was the Saints. I think we lose this one as well. I think people start panicking because we just came off a high of 11-5 or 11-3. Now we're 11-5. Gut check time. Michael Parsons is still just going to be nasty.
Oh, he's going to go crazy because of Alex wanting to draft him, for sure.
I don't particularly love the Cowboys this year. I think overall we're a better team than them. I just think you're going to get into Jerry World at night and it's going to be a house of horrors.
It's going to be bright for us.
The refs will probably
a little bright for us.
I kind of just think the Eagles really laid out the game plan for how to deal with Micah Parsons last year, and you could just run right at him. I think given our offensive line, I don't think he's going to be that big of a problem.
We'll find out.
I hope Coach listens.
We were a horrible team last year when we played there.
Nice.
So.
Crazy to try to predict also the health of each of these teams by
also
then.
true. Yes.
Well, yeah. And then we wrap it up at home. Probably another massive game for stakes with the Vikings. This is either
Sunday
or
or Saturday.
It says could be flexed. We'll see what happens. What do you? How do you guys think we wrap out the regular season?
W.
I think this is going to be for the division. I think it's going to be the flexed game that was the Jags Titans last year that pushed to Saturday, Monday night game type thing. So it'll be 2 weeks in a row for us. And it's at home. And despite the last time they played in the final game at home for the division, I think this time they get over the hump and finally do it. NFC North champs.
I just think there's a lot of question marks on that defense for the Vikings. And you just can't slap Brian Flores on a Band-Aid over that. So I think this is going to be an easy win in a rowdy environment.
I think it's a win. I think it goes similar to last year's home game. Like it's not going to be just a walk in the park, but I think they'll make adjustments from that first game, and they will get the dub. That's what I predict. So I have 12-5 as my record for this team.
Me as well.
I think I had the same thing.
Well, that just feels wrong then.
It does feel wrong.
I had different
For context,
losses than you.
Last year, no pressure, but Alex and I had 9-8, which was right on the money, and Evan had 10-7. So last year we were all over this team in May, which is crazy to guess. But we'll see then if 12-5 holds serve.
It kind of feels good, Grant, that we're in lockstep again.
Evan's going to fall around 10-7, I think, just based off his opinions normally. So
lately, there are a lot of questions about Evan's negativity.
He was the most bullish last year, but he might be down on him a little bit.
Yeah.
My only other questions were: are there any things that jump out to you about the schedule, like what you're most excited for? Maybe what did I write down? I wrote down games that stand out to you, most excited for, most confident in, or least confident in, minus week 1. So you can answer any of those. I'm just curious where people start.
No, my just overarching opinion is our road games are tough. All of them, really.
I would say outside, well, not Tampa Bay. I think
Tampa's the only one that's not.
Tampa.
In my
That's
head.
what I wrote down. I think Tampa Bay's the most confident game I'm in. Like I cannot see us losing at Tampa Bay.
I don't see us losing at home against Atlanta.
I hate where the bye falls.
I think they're a solid
I wish
team.
the bye would have fallen after the Chargers game. Since it's a long road trip out west, I would have liked a week off after that.
I like that, Cody. I like that nugget. That game, besides week 1, which I have as an auto loss, this game with the Chargers is the game I would say least confident in. I think we just don't. I don't think we win that game.
Yeah. Something about Justin Herbert.
I know we're going to have a letdown. That's why I picked a Vegas loss.
The thing I will say, though, is all the games after the bye, there's a lot of teams that have a lot of guys with bad injury history. Like, think of the Chargers. Like Joey Bosa play in that game? Will Mike Williams play in that game? Will Keenan Allen play in that game?
Their whole team is actually a walking Band-Aid.
Will Kamara and Michael Thomas, the Cowboys, will Dak play in that game? There's a lot of question marks in the back half of the year that I think could fall our way.
How I like to look at schedules a lot too is like, don't worry about the team, just talk about the quarterback you're going to play. And outside of Herbert and Mahomes, Lamar's fringe, but those are the only 3 quarterbacks that remotely strike fear in me when I play them.
Yeah,
my team plays them.
Lamar.
Did you watch what Lamar did to us last time we played him?
I said fringe.
I mean, that just seems biased. Yeah,
he also hasn't played in a while.
Might be a jackass and not hire an agent and all that schmaz, but he's a very tough player to prepare for.
Yeah, I said those 3 are the only 3 that I get nervous about playing. Everyone else, I think, is pretty...
We did kind of look out on the JMO suspension, too. I feel like those are very winnable games without JMO.
Agreed.
I think you should go 4-2 at least.
It's the hard part is like, I know we did it last year, but asking to go 4-0 against Green Bay and Chicago is asking a lot, in my opinion, even though we did do it last year. But it feels like we have to do that again this year based on where those 2 teams are at, assuming Jordan Love is not that good, which I do not think he will be that good.
I think he'll be better than you think, but
Like, give me a comp. You think he'll be like Dak Prescott year one?
That's actually a really good comp. I was trying to think in my head.
I think he could get there, yes.
Thank you, Cody.
Mm.
Well, if he is, then those games become significantly tougher.
Yeah.
Significantly.
Agreed.
Okay, quickly, we just have Lotto and then PGA, and we'll get out of here. Lotto, I mean, we kind of talked about it at the top, so I don't have a ton. I did write down some coaching rumors that I saw that I wanted to ask the crew about. Essentially, we have our 3 finalists, and then Monty Williams is in the mix, but it's between Charles Lee, Jaron Collins, Kevin Ollie. They all interviewed with Tom Gores in LA earlier last week, so at the beginning of last week, and a final decision isn't expected until after tonight's lottery. So my question is, is there any, what do we think the reasoning for that is? Do you think these coaches were waiting to see what pick we got, or is it more just waiting for Monty Williams? Because I was confused on why you can't just hire a guy if you like him after we get interviews before the lottery.
I think in the NBA you have to wait until the doom and gloom, like second round, because so many teams hold so much water in getting to the East and Western Conference Finals that, like, you saw Doc Rivers today get fired, you saw Monty Williams get fired. There's all these the top 3 winningest head coaches the last 3 years are all fired now. So you really do have to hold out if you want to ultimately get one of those guys, because it is possible. But I think I'm falling more into your camp now, Grant, where I don't think any of those hires help us. Like Monty Williams, I think, you look at, I know Missoula struggled in the playoffs, but look at what the Celtics have done. They've gone from, Ime Udoka, say what you want about him, but they've just pulled assistants within their group of guys, and they found success in that way. I know they have Jason Tatum, but still. So I think either Jaron Collins or Charles Lee is probably my hire. But my question on that is, does Kevin Ollie coach one of the 2 twins?
I did not know that.
So his job is interesting. He's not a coach. I can confirm that because I've seen that tweeted out. But he works for Overtime Elite. Like, he does talent development, I believe, for Overtime Elite. More of a mentor, maybe works on their skills and whatnot.
Yeah.
But I think it's fair to say he's interacted with them a lot, the 2 times.
That's where the draft fell. I think it's probably a lock we're ending up with one of those 2 or Jarris Walker. So now in my head, Kevin Ollie could be the right hire, given he's already worked with one of those 2 guys.
Yeah. It almost rubs me the wrong way, though. I'm not saying to be settling, but if you just hire Ollie and then you draft one of those kids because Kevin's we should do that, just feels like you're not giving the process the right due diligence. But like you said, it'd be weird if we do hire Ollie and then don't draft one of them. That tells me that the front office really doesn't think that highly of either of the twins, because if you were going to draft one, you do it when you just took a guy from their system.
Yeah.
I did see, though, from Mark Stein, this is from a Bleacher Report article, that he reported on Sunday that Ollie, quote, has been increasingly described in league coaching circles as their preferred choice for Troy Weaver. So I don't know if that means Ollie's the front runner of the final 3, but then Monty Williams throws a wrench in it. But Monty Williams is also being interviewed by a bunch of places. So I'm not sure. I'm wondering where you're at, Alex. You're not doomsday if we hire Ollie, from what I remember.
I'm team hire Kevin Ollie. And I know it's super controversial, but I think he has a lot of respect from NBA executives, NBA players, played in the NBA. It might not have worked in college, whatever. I mean, he did win a national championship. It's no easy task to do that regardless if he screwed it all up after that. And the other 2, they haven't done anything. I don't know them. So I'm not, and Budenholzer just got fired. So is an assistant coach for that guy even that good? I don't know. Probably not. Maybe. But if he was, wouldn't he just get the Bucks job right now? And then who's the other dude?
Jaron. He was a assistant with the Pelicans who was with the Warriors during a lot of their titles.
Yeah, he was around a culture that won. That just reminds me of Matt Patricia. No thanks.
Well, just remember what happened to Luke, what's his last name?
NBA
Yeah.
coach. Oh,
Luke Walton. When he went to the Kings, like that failed miserably, and he was around all those Warriors. He coached the Warriors during all that. So,
Like
Oh, yeah,
I know
I
everyone's
remember that.
doomsday about Kevin Ollie, but I don't think it's like
Yeah.
I think it's the best option of the three,
I
and
also
over
think
Monty Williams too.
he's been around the G League. Like he knows how to work with a lot of these young guys, and you have to think of like where are the Pistons today? It's all young guys. Like we have to develop talent still. We aren't in a. I know our goal is probably the playing game or to make the playoffs at all, but we're not in a spot where we need to compete. We still have a lot of guys that are 21, 22, 23. We still need to develop talent. I think Kevin Ollie can help manage that. So I think that's probably where
He
Troy
seems
Weaver
like the
lies.
perfect development guy, and he's
Yeah.
not Dwayne Casey who can't relate to players anymore and whatever else, and doesn't know how to play defense. Yada yada yada.
The biggest thing would be like I have no worries about Kevin Ollie managing a locker room. I just wondered like what is his X's and O's.
That
now?
is the question
And
that
that
I
would be
would
the-
wonder.
Defensively, yeah.
But I
I'm
mean, he
not worried
coached a
about,
team
like-
to win the national championship in college basketball. That is, you can't have no X and O knowledge, no nothing, and manage a game in the NCAA tournament if you don't know anything. It just does not happen.
He's got swag too. Like he's always been a pretty clean cut guy.
Yeah.
Dresses well. Like I think he like would represent the face of the Pistons well. And what to your point, Alex, I have seen quotes come out from like Pistons accounts pulling up old interviews with like LeBron, and some
KD,
other big players, KD saying like I think this guy could be a really good coach in our league, which encourages me because that's what I was banking a lot of Wembanyama stuff on. Is because like Giannis was saying about Wemby, this guy is going to change the league, which sucks even more now that we didn't get him. But when you see other NBA players say that, they don't always say that. They don't go out of their way to give other people credit a lot. So I can talk myself into it. I certainly would give him a fresh chance. Like I'm not going to hold any ill will if he gets the job. Like I'm all in. Let's do it. And then if he fails, he fails. But
I mean, can it
It
get
was
worse,
exciting.
dude? Like if he
No.
sucks, like is it a big deal? No, it's not going to be any different.
yeah, what's going to happen? We're the worst team again and get fifth pick.
Yeah,
I mean,
mean-
we've just done that 2 years in a row, basically. So
Take a shot. I think he's perfect for developing young guys.
Anything's better than
Yeah,
which
Stan
is
Van
all
Gundy
what
and
our
John
whole
Casey,
team.
So
I do not. Yeah, that's the whole reason I don't want Monty Williams or any of those guys. I don't want some old geezer and throw it back and see if they can revive whatever career they had. I
Throw
don't
it
want to
back.
watch it. I don't want to watch it anymore.
Imagine Stan Van throwing it back.
It's disgusting.
Big golf tournament this weekend, boys. Big golf tournament. Not really though. Although
It's a big golf tournament. Let's not kid ourselves.
it's
You're just
a major,
not a golf guy.
It's a low major, but it's had good finishes recently. It's actually provided some drama. We had the Mito Pereira.
Last year was
blow-up. You gotta see
great.
it on full swing. I just said
It was
that.
actually
Shut up.
uncomfortable to watch last year.
Yeah. So either using draft. I think I use DraftKings, but FanDuel, same thing. If you pull that up, we got the odds. For those that are new here, we do a favorite and a long shot. Favorite is shorter than 5,000 odds, and then your long shot has to be greater than 5,000. I guess your favorite could be anything, but the long shot has to be above 5,000, or else we're not doing anything crazy. Does anyone want to start? Because I will start because I don't want my favorites to get taken because I only have one
Go on,
favorite.
start.
I'm
I'll start. Evan's favorite is Xander Schauffele.
Oh, Evan did give his, yes.
I love Xander.
Didn't he do that for the Masters? He did that for the Masters.
Yes.
Yeah. So X-Man.
Go ahead, Grant.
My favorite, which I should have just waited because I don't think anyone would take him. I'm rocking with Tony Finau for this tournament. I think this is his time to win.
Bold.
And you know
He's
why?
playing well lately.
Because when you guys think about PGA, that's when a lot of guys get their first major. Guys that are kind of on the fringe, that are good golfers. Usually that's when they break out, in my opinion. So I think Tony Finau, this is his chance. And I read
That's
an
not
article that said his
necessarily
game-
true, but yeah.
Okay. His game matches this course is what I read.
Just because Jimmy Walker won the PGA Championship. I mean, there are other guys around him: Phil Mickelson, Justin
Jimmy Walker
Thomas,
sounds like a lotto pick.
Brooks
Jimmy
Koepka
Walker.
twice, Rory, Jay Spieth. I mean, it's actually all favorites in the last 10 besides one. So, anyways,
No, but when they Brooks, I think it wasn't this the first.
He won it
major
back-to-back.
he won? First major he won though.
yes. Maybe.
I'm saying this is the tournament where you get your first major win, is what I think.
Not Jordan Spieth. Not
Cody.
Rory McIlroy.
Or Al.
Actually, it might be Rory.
I think we are due for a live guy to win a major, just given at how they performed at the Masters. And
Phil finished second.
second.
Anybody can
Brooks
play well at Augusta.
Brooks blew up on the last day, but there's something to be
Shut
said
up,
about
Alex.
these guys golfing less and less. And I know a lot of these PGA guys have been a little upset at how many tournaments they're playing now. So I like taking the guy that's dominated the PGA Championship in the last few years, and that's Brooks Koepka at plus 2,000. I mean, he's won it twice since 2018, so I need a strong showing
well
at
on
Augusta.
that poop tour.
So
Alex.
it just feels like Live
like it,
Life
Cody.
is almost at a lull, and Rory's not even saying anything about it, and it feels like we're due for just that.
Rory's
that
focused
entire
on his
tour
own
roaring
game.
back. Rory stinks right now.
No.
All
Rory hasn't
right.
played season. I don't.
Well,
My guy for the record was plus 2,200. I should say that.
Yeah.
What the odds were.
Wilkins was 2,000. So I would pick Jordan Spieth. Obviously, I'd love to pick him, but he's injured, and I don't
just do it, dude.
And he withdrew last week, so I don't know what his deal is. I think he's playing, but it seems like a bad favorite to pick if he's hurt.
Oh, he withdrew from the tournament last week, and now he's playing in this tournament.
He's scheduled right now to play, but they withdraw late all the time.
Okay.
So that just, and the odds reflect that. I mean, he's at plus 4,500. So I can't pick him as bad as I want to. So I have to pick someone else.
72 points at the half for the Nugs. What a whopping.
Play some defense,
What's the
baby,
score?
Braun.
72-54.
Oh, it was 10 when my iPad died. So favorite between two guys, both plus 3,000. I'll go
Pereira redemption.
I'll go Grant's Logic, player that's been close but is ready to break out, and it is Cam Young. He's close. He's competed at every major since he started. He was a rookie last year. He always seems to find his way in the top 10.
I like it.
I love his swing. Stops at the top. It's crazy. So, yeah, give me Cam Young.
Nobody picked Scheffler.
And he's sponsored by Major League Baseball. Well, I picked him last time, and I got boned.
Jarris Walker mocked to the Pistons at 5.
John Rahm seems like an obvious pick, too. The dude wins all the time. But
it's so boring if you just pick those two.
I don't know. That's why I didn't.
They're like under plus 1,000. It's bananas.
Scheffler hasn't finished
Never see
outside the
that.
top 12 since in like 23 tournaments or something crazy. But yeah, so we
What's
can
Cam Young's odds?
plus
3,000.
3,000.
Wow.
You said a long shot is 5,000 or greater?
Yeah,
Well, we know Evans. It's Ricky Fowler right at plus 5,000, right?
it is actually plus 5,500. Ricky Fowler. That is Evan's long shot.
I wrote that down because if Evan was on, I was going to demand to go first and just take Ricky right out under his nose. But we'll give him that one for his troubles tonight. No one will take mine, so I can go last if you guys want.
Wilkins, you can go.
I'm
I'll
between
go
two
now.
golfers, but I think I'm going to go with Joaquin Neiman. He's like a guy that's always
Joaquin.
he's
on the live,
always
and
in
he
the top
sucks.
10. Well,
And he's small, and he
Can I
hits
tell
the
you
ball
something?
short.
well,
Whenever I hear that name, I think of the Joker movie with Joaquin Phoenix.
Do you know where Joaquin Neiman played college golf? Trivia question.
Wherever Joaquin Phoenix.
got it.
Oh, no, he went to UC Santa Barbara.
was
That's
in-
so confident.
It was in full swing. He was there for
He
Mito
went to
Pereira when
University
Mito
of
Pereira-
South Florida.
He was
Oh,
there for Mito Pereira.
close.
Mito Pereira crumbled last year, so I just think he's a good guy.
Yeah, bad
I'm
pick.
gonna steal Mito's wife.
It was between him and Sahith.
Oh, I do like
Oh.
Sahith.
Big Sahith guy.
Grant, I'll go. Sam Burns. He absolutely pounds the golf ball. And fun
Feel
fact,
the burns.
Sam Burns and Cam Young were both in the Final Four of the WGC Dell Match Play earlier this season. So, why not?
What?
And Sam Burns actually won it. And guess who he beat?
Cam Young.
Cam Young. Who did he beat in the semifinal? Scotty Scheffler.
Scotty Scheffler, yeah.
Wow.
So Sam Burns, good golfer.
Wow. What a pick. What's his odds?
Plus 5,500, so he's right on that long shot line.
Joaquin's 66.
7 on
Okay.
mine.
Little devil number there. One more from the devil right there. Okay, mine's way long shot, so sprinkle.
Let me
responsibly.
scroll. Hold on. Let me guess.
Seamus Power.
Plus 11,000. Keegan Bradley, the resurgence of the Keys.
That's not way down there.
11,000.
There's a lot of players in this
and you're
field.
taking
A lot.
I know, but you're taking a long shot if you're over 10K to win a tournament.
Take Chris French at plus
My thought
500,000.
process. I read an article about this. The guy made a good point. They said that Keegan thrives on the East Coast, Northeast Coast, where he's from. You know, I think he's a Boston guy, from what I believe. I feel like Barstool got behind him at one point. So he's a Boston guy. These are his courses. I don't know about the exact grass, like Bermuda, what we're working with, but the guy was like, he's done well on these courses, and he's actually been playing good golf this past calendar year.
Yeah, he's
so
been
I'm
okay.
on Keegan Bradley to be in the hunt.
He
Like on Saturday, he might fall out, but I think on moving day, he'll be a name to look for.
on your breakthrough logic, he broke through and won a PGA Championship. Fun fact.
He's done it before.
He
Not
has.
this course, obviously, because it rotates. But
It is being played in Rochester, New York. It might be cold. Might be rainy and
Oak Hill,
cold.
I believe. I looked up the last tournament for a PGA here. Was it like in 2013? I forget who won it. I read it, but I forgot. It was not a big name from what I remember reading, because I would remember it if it was a big name. But 2013. So we don't have a lot of precedent with this crew of people.
Duffner.
We did not have that.
Duffner won it in 2013.
The Duff.
He
Duff
withdrew.
Jack won it.
He beat Furyk.
Oh, he's still around. Wow.
Well, every PGA
Yeah, that
champion
tells you
gets to come back and
The
play.
last time we were here, Furyk versus Duffner, 2013. Last time we were
The Duff.
dancing at this course. All right. That's the show. Cody, how would you grade your performance?
Great, you're not going to
I
give your
think
first round leader?
No, I don't have one. Not for the PGA.
First
only for
round leader,
Masters.
Shane Lowry. There's a dart.
Harris English.
To
Duffner.
rate my performance, I think I performed today. I think I performed. I think I'm going to sleep well. I don't have any concerns about my performance. I think the guests are going to be begging for me to be back. And I think it was a nice change of pace from the doom and gloom. I actually submitted a question this week on when will Evan be positive on an episode.
That was you.
Listeners will listeners will approve of some positivity, even with the draft odds. So, thanks for having me on, folks.
I think you did great. We
I
got a
did too.
voicemail too that reminded me about Evan. I don't know who it's from though, so we'll have to play that next time. So if you're listening at this point, we'll play your voicemail next time. And I had flashbacks, Cody, when you were talking there. Of course you do well, being with Bit Money. And people forget that Cody, I think, was the first ever guest on the Shoots and Tour show in my dorm. So I think I might have to try to find that clip
NBA
somewhere
expert.
of like the worst.
I called in about it.
Yeah. It was like Russell Westbrook drama with the Thunder. And it was just off a phone call into a mic, and it was bad audio.
I was driving to a Michigan State baseball game in Ann Arbor during that, and I called in while I was parking.
Yeah, no, Cody's been bred for this. I thought you did very well, especially on the short notice. Overall, sad night, but we managed to do the most of it. We had the Lions going 12-5, so if that comes true, then people will forget about Victor Wembanyama.
I'll leave the people with something. I think all the bad karma that Detroit is feeling right now is going to lead to something great with this Lions season, and maybe with the Tigers. Boycott's going to end.
No, it's not get crazy.
I do believe in that though, where all of our teams got so bad at once that they all theoretically should get all good at the same time. It's just going to be, we got to be patient.
A little staggered, maybe.
Yeah.
A little staggered. Some better than others. But yeah, with all that being said, cheers to episode.
Cheers.
121.
Episode 121. Number one sports podcast in the state of Michigan. Don't forget it.
And it doesn't end.
Should I go get Taco Bell or no?